Yes, I talk a British now.
She does. Sometimes the sausage should not make you have the accent. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to another Ikea episode. My name is Djamila.
And my name is Sarah.
And we are the Ikea girls.
Yes. And we're here for episode 8.
Yes, indeed.
Back in Copenhagen. Hi, Mette. Hi,
We have to have this.
I missed you.
Don't cut it, please, Sarah. I love it.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I've been having fun. But yeah, welcome back to another episode. And this month's episode is a suggestion from me. Moi.
Thank you, Djamila.
You're welcome. I hope you will like this episode. So let's start first. For the people that are just listening to us for the first time, we come to IKEA once a month to talk about life. And of course, some of our topics are suggested. There are suggestions from you guys listening to us. And sometimes we just, like today, we just want to talk about something.
And we really wanted to talk about
this topic. So this month's topic is love, because
we're being cliche once again.
We are.
It's February, soon Valentine's, and we thought Valentine's equal love. Might be a bit more complicated than that.
So this episode, we will of course talk about Valentine's Day, take you to what is Valentine's Day, where did it come from, and talk about what we think about love. What is love about? Because love is having pleasure. And with that, we will go to the second part. Because this episode, I am taking Sarah. We are taking you guys on a road trip.
We had a very nice feedback actually from our latest vlog kind of episode in the metro around Copenhagen. So we thought, why not do another one?
I mean, why stop's a fun thing?
Exactly.
So this episode will definitely, I'm excited to take Sarah to this special place where all things love unite. Yeah.
So we wanted to talk about a little bit of that celebration coming soon. Although we don't want to bore you, but we did a little bit of research.
Yeah. I read a little bit about Valentine's Day. I was surprised. I mean, I always knew it's a commercial holiday.
That's the image we have of it right now. Of like, you have to buy chocolate and you have to buy flowers and you have to go on a date, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And all the people
Sarah is rolling her eyes. If you guys, I wish I should have filmed this. She was just rolling.
But I'm kind of in this team of like, it's a bit superficial, but at the same time, it does have a history and it's not that recent. Like, we read that it became what it is right now around like the middle age. People starting to exchange love letters, all that Shakespeare stuff, Romeo and Juliet thing, But actually, it has like a more ancient history from like the Roman Empire with different pagan traditions. So we read about one very interesting tradition that it might have originated from.
Trigger warning for the
kind
sensitive.
of, It's basically, there used to be this fertility festival in the beginning of February where people would get naked and like whip each other with like animal intestines.
Bloody, so basically it was, the ritual was that women will stand there and men will come and whip them, like Sarah said. And afterwards, there will be this name
lottery
where they would choose who to mate them with.
Yeah, the name would pick a woman's name, and then they would be mates for the duration of the festival.
Yeah,
Roman stuff. But then that kind of stayed throughout the years because this period of the year is still accepted as the beginning of spring, not on the calendar, but in like nature.
Yeah,
and mating season, because that's where
it was not for humans, but for the for the birds.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that is a little romantic. I like that idea.
I mean, that's why we still say lovebirds, cute couples and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, basically nature gets freaky, and so humans felt that they should start doing the same at the same time.
Yeah.
To make it simple.
I mean, I strongly suggest that you read a little bit about Valentine's Day, and it is really interesting. But of course, most of these information are not 100%. These are, of course, like everything with history, we were not there.
Some of them are legends, some of them we don't have proof of it, but it might explain some of our traditions nowadays. So.
But the Valentine's Day we know now, thanks to Hallmark and William Shakespeare, the time where you show your love and where you send those cards.
Right? And even now, I think it continues evolving. Now there's many ways to celebrate, or not, actually, Valentine's Day. You know, there's now Galentine's, and there's all different celebrations around it to just get out of this couples dynamic. You can celebrate love in general. You can celebrate Valentine's with your friends. And
different ways of celebrating. And now they definitely... I read somewhere that it's like, for some people, it's an entire week. And every day of the week, there are different celebrations, which is crazy, but...
Yeah, but that's why we wanted to talk about it, because we also have like different relationships to Valentine's Day. And our goal was not to make an episode to be like, yay, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go on a date? Ooh,
definitely
ideas for dates and stuff. Not at all. Because even ourselves, we don't always celebrate Valentine's Day the traditional way. For example, my boyfriend and I, we don't particularly celebrate it because we think that you celebrate love all year round. Djamila, stop rolling your eyes.
Let me give you a little image of them.
Oh no.
They are like peanut butter and jelly. Every time you see them together.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. And the small voices. I love it for my friend. She's so happy all the time. But sometimes it makes a girl that's been married for I don't know how many years, I feel like, aww.
No, but now you're making it sound so
actually
cheesy.
I am doing it more cheesy. But it is, their love is beautiful.
The reality is, I wouldn't mind working on Valentine's Day and not having the time, for a date. We'll do that another day. Just like we actually did with Christmas as well. We're just like, we can have our own celebrations the time we want, basically. So Valentine's Day, fine, it's fun, but...
I mean, I have a friend, I remember when we were younger, he was saying this, and I didn't really get it, but like he's a romantic guy. He's in Canada now. Hello. But he said this. He was like, why are we celebrating Valentine's Day? Is it that the rest of the year you should not love the person that you're in love with? So it always was a thing for him. And then he was like, I mean, when you love someone, every day should be Valentine's Day. So that is, I mean, I think, if I may speak on your behalf, that I think that's our point of view when it comes to Valentine's Day and celebrating love. Because right now, the idea of Valentine's Day is celebrating love.
Yeah.
But why should love be once a year?
True. And I'm also thinking about all the single people out there. You don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day. I know it's hard to ignore it when it's everywhere, like all little love hearts and stuff, but you can make it like anything you want.
I did last year. Interesting. I actually had my best friend that came last year, and she came on Valentine's Day. She arrived on Valentine's Day, and we spent Valentine's Day together. And it was so cozy. We went for dinner, and we went for a drink after. And I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like you are being told so much that if you are in a relationship, that person should be celebrating Valentine's Day with you and stuff. And then last year, I think it was, no offense to my partner right now, but it was the time where I really enjoyed it. I had fun. And I wasn't thinking about Valentine's. I was thinking about, I'm with someone that I really love and I love being with, and the pressure. That's the key. The pressure wasn't there. I think that's one of the things that also for men, there is such a it's like the pressure is so big that they can only fail. It's kind of like setting them up for failure, because the pressure is so big where they feel like they have to do something extravagant because their partner, their girlfriend, wife, or whatever is seeing all these people, and also social media. I know I bring it a lot, but for me, it's very important that people do understand the impact of social media, because people will put stuff and that put pressure on them, that make the other one saying, well, my partner is not doing this for me. You know what I mean? So there is a pressure, and there is this ideal, this image that makes it it can only go as kind of a disappointment, or you have to go
Or you
like
can
extravagant.
not care.
Exactly. But then if you don't care, then you have to have care with your partner and make sure that when they say they don't care, they really mean it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise they are sad. Like, because I know, like, for some years I was like, well, I don't care with my husband, but I did care. I did want it. But this is also why now it's interesting, because I think this episode is the second part will be about learning about yourself, loving yourself, because I think it's when you don't really, you're not hearing your own voice and knowing who you are, then you can only be disappointed. You can only take others what they're doing to, oh, I want that, because you don't know what you really want.
True. So with that, we thought February, Valentine's, mating season, let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Just
This
kidding.
is why this episode is called
Voulez, vous
coucher
avec
avec moi? No, it is about self-love, right?
Yeah.
It's about love in general, with your partner, and loving yourself.
Exactly.
And with that, of course, sex is
It's
spicy
exactly
part of it.
We want to focus on that to give you some juice, but obviously it's not the only aspect of love, self-love, Valentine's, not at all.
Yeah, like a good Valentine's Day that you can give yourself as well will be just being at home with a good book, good food, alone or with friends, or even with your partner, just relaxing.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
telling each other why you love each other and how lucky you are with each other, and not have to give each other gift, because being in each other's life is gift enough.
Oh,
I know I'm cheesy.
Cheesy.
What is wrong with me?
What happened to you?
A little disclaimer.
Okay, we're obviously going to talk about some, personal stuff, some spicy stuff. If not your thing, it's completely fine, and I'd recommend just skipping this episode because it's not for everyone. We just want to have fun and play a bit with those taboo topics.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And with that, I really, really want to take Sarah to a special place. And this episode, that place right now especially, is all about celebrating Valentine's Day.
Do you want to say what we're going?
I think we will say, I am taking Sarah for the first time to a sex shop. Yay!
Oh my God! Yes, I've never been, and I thought
it's the problem.
Who would be better to go with than Djamila?
It's not like I'm a professional or something at it.
So yeah, a bit more appropriate than an Ikea. So
we
in
are
a minute.
going, and yeah, the Ikea episode girls are officially back on the road.
Woo!
Are you excited?
I am. I'm genuinely excited. And
I am so excited. I've been so excited. I've been talking about this episode because we knew for months that this episode is coming, and it's finally here. Yay! So we are in the center, and we are going to go see the sex shop.
We're a few meters away.
I just wanted to take a moment because, of course, one of the reasons why we're going to the sex shop is to see Sarah's reaction, guys. I am excited.
We're very different. Both of us. We're into very different stuff. So I think it's going to be like an experience.
It's going to be an experience for sure. But the main idea why we are doing this for this episode is because, of course, this is the season of love, like we said before. And with love, it's about self-love, about pleasuring yourself and loving yourself. And we wanted to talk about that. We wanted to that's the twist we wanted to bring when it comes to Valentine's Day, that it's not about just having someone loving you. It's not all about gift and so on. You can use it as a moment of reflecting on what is really love, on taking the time to know yourself, because that's how you can love, be loved, and be happy. Like I said, last year was one of really the year where Valentine's Day I had actually fun, because I started understanding what I want instead of seeing what the media is telling me that I should want, you know? And that's what it is.
Yeah. So, the sex shop is kind of like a pretext and for the fun of it. But more generally, we wanted to talk about finding what you want and what you like in life in general. Is not only about sex, but it's very important in the sex aspect, because if you don't know what you want and what you like, you can't tell what is okay or not. You can't set boundaries. You risk of, it's something I've seen appear more and more on the socials now. It's people talking about checking consent with yourself as well as with the other person.
Oh my God, that is so true.
Right now it's so much about giving consent and like if you don't have consent then you can't go ahead. But actually it's important to always check consent with yourself. So do I want to do this thing? Do I like this thing? So you're able to say no as well.
And how would I feel afterwards? Because right now we hope we have people listening to us that are like in their, not teenage, but like they're not in a relationship where you meet someone on Valentine's Day, you go out, you meet someone during this month of February, and you just like, because of everything with this month, you feel like you're giving consent. The person would ask you, you say yes, but do you really want that? Or wouldn't you rather just be with yourself and enjoy things?
Even in general, outside of Valentine's Day, but just when you're in a relationship, all relationships are different and everyone has different boundaries.
Yeah.
So it's always good to check like what exactly you want, even if it doesn't look like the standard thing.
Yeah.
To be able to communicate that. It's so important because we always tend to want to be normal and just do the normal thing.
But what is normal?
Exactly.
I think it's important that you understand what is normal for you. Because for me, it's like the aftermath. Too much info. Sorry. But let's talk about it. Like, you can be with someone and you actually have intercourse and everything. And at that moment, you're like, well, the idea of it and everything is fun. And then you do it because you have this idea. Like, let's take, for example, in a relationship, you have a fight. And there is this thing that I used to believe, that when you fight, a good makeup sex will resolve it all.
Is that a thing now?
It is not. Come to find out now, with years, I realized that no, it's not. It does not fix everything. At that moment, it's juicy. But the aftermath, I know that several times afterwards, I was still not okay. I knew things were not resolved. I knew things were not, processed. And I did what? I was like, okay, do this. But that's again me being influenced and not listening. This is why I really think it's a good thing what you said about consent with yourself, because I didn't give Djamila consent. I did give like my husband consent, but I didn't give Djamila consent.
That's very interesting.
Or Djamila didn't give me consent. And I went for it, and then I always just felt bad. I always needed that time to calm down, because I wasn't happy, because I was just like, I want to resolve this. But I think it also comes with age, with wisdom. Please, Djamila, correct yourself now, girl. Right?
So we say we fight taboos, but we do have one taboo. Djamila has one taboo. We do not mention age. Old is a forbidden word here.
That's a ooh, did you just say the word? No,
sorry.
But that is definitely a forbidden word. But yeah, with wisdom, you realize that you just know when it's right, and you're just able to say no.
Yeah, if you have a doubt, then
that is probably
no.
Yeah. When in the middle of it, even if you have doubts, that is probably a big no.
Yeah, that's a difficult thing to accept, because you're like, you get the whole thing started and stuff, and then you don't want to disappoint the other person.
Yeah.
At least when you're doing it on your own, you stop, nothing happens. No one's
Also, that's the idea, like how I was raised as well. I always just rejected the idea of doing it alone. Let's talk
Oh,
about
wow.
it.
Okay.
I always rejected the idea of doing it alone until at some point we were in such a bad state. We were bad. So I just didn't want it.
You
And
were
then,
bad. You mean
like,
doing it?
as a couple, and I didn't want to
Okay.
force it anymore. I didn't want to do it. So it was just like, no, I don't want to do it. And that's when I slowly, because I mean, the body wants what it wants, So this is the thing. I'm going back to my metaphor.
Oh, God.
This is the thing with sex. When you don't know it, it's like trying like seeing a fruit. People are like, oh, this fruit is so good. And you're like, okay, whatever, It's not the forbidden fruit because this fruit is just there. And you're like, okay, I see it every day. I don't care. But once you try it and it's juicy and it's
honestly
good,
it's not like that for everyone.
Well, for
some
me,
people when they're young and they don't know what it is, they're just like, oh my God, I want to try it so bad, and like la la, and then you try it and you're like, eh.
Yeah, but for me it was like, but then once you try it and your body knows how good it is, then I feel like when you stay for a period, you just start thinking like, the body be asking for shit. But that's the thing. Then you have these feelings and you just realize that doing it is not gonna solve any. It's not gonna help it. It's gonna maybe actually make it worse because you're not thinking clear. Actually, it was, I think, a year before COVID that I started saying, you know what? Let me get into it. Like really, really get into it for myself. Sit down and try to read about it. See what would you like, what would you not like. So I don't don't get into it like saying I'm buying a sex toy. No, you have to know what is it you want, right? And I started by just taking time to be by myself, and slowly I was like, well, maybe I need some help, Maybe I need the juicy juice.
Nasty voice.
I think also it's a genius idea. People before going to, I know some guys do it before going on dates, but please do it. It makes you think less with your little head. It's true.
But if I can say, I had a different approach to it. It's very funny. Don't get mad at me, but I do think it's a little bit because of the age gap.
Sorry. What age gap? What you talking about? There's no age gap. First of all, let's start with that.
No, because, or maybe it's just like different cultural background. I don't know. I grew up with like hearing around me mostly like, I don't know, feminist magazines, or later on when I got Instagram, then that's where I kind of got education about sex. And so I feel like I grew up with not that much stigma around it, and especially around masturbation, because I grew up in an environment where I heard like, you shouldn't be ashamed, you should get to know yourself, it's not dirty, it's good for your body, no pressure, you do it only if you want. All those positive messages were all around me. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that, because for me now it's like something normal, as in I don't feel I have to do it to be normal, but also if I do it, I'm not a freak or whatever. It's like very healthy, and I'm really thankful for that.
I agree. I think there is a cultural difference. Like, it's not age, first of all. Let's correct that right away. What I'm saying is, like, I think there is a cultural thing. Like, I was just told, no, you don't do this unless you have your husband. It's a different culture. My mom will listen. But I wasn't taught about, like, things like, when you sit, you have to talk about sex, about this and that. There is no conversation. Like, no, when I was growing up, I did see certain things, but it was still like, you shouldn't ask about it. But then I just have to say one thing. I'm African. I grew up with an African mom. So that should answer, like, that should make things clear. Like, but it wasn't like it's taboo, but I know better than to go to my mom or to be searching certain things and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying right now it's the taboo's over and every family is super open and whatever. It's not like that at all. But I'm just saying, like, there's more resources that are accessible. But like, for example, in school, even in France right now, it's difficult to get proper sex education and stuff. It's still we're not there. But I'm just saying, like, you could get information in much accessible ways. Like, I wanted to mention and recommend an account actually
Let me
that
know.
that I really like. It's called in French Jouissance Club. In English, because they do have the translated page, it's Bliss Club. And basically, this account gives you ideas of stuff to do. Now, yes, it's very direct, but I'm recommending it because it's done in a very like non-porno way at all. It's educational, it's inclusive, and also it makes it less serious.
Okay.
Because what really helped me growing up, and I'm still learning that, is like, it's a game. It's for pleasure, and you should take it as a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to play a game, and when you do want to play, it's not that serious. There can be fails, and you can stop and restart. You need to learn the rules. Not everyone have the same rules. It's that kind of metaphor. Just for you, Djamila. It's a game.
Thank you. I loved it.
But yeah, so that page and then the book that the person has made as well, it kind of helped me understand that and be like, it's something natural that's part of your body that you need to get to know, and then the more you do it, the better you get at it. Yeah, it's a game. It's just for fun. It's not that serious.
And once again, I want to take us back to the topic of this episode, which is, of course, about love, self-love, and we do know, like, of course, we are like focusing a lot on the sex part, but that's one aspect. We do know that this time can be also hard for people mentally, seeing people loving each other all over and just wondering, where is my thing? And we have said it several times in our different podcasts, but maybe it's going to be hard. And believe me, I know, because I was there, that you have to love yourself. Really, or sex apart or sex toys aside, love yourself. Because if you do not know yourself, and like Sarah said, if you do not give yourself the okay, the permission, if you do not give yourself consent, then you will never be okay with it.
Yeah, and that goes with so many things, like protecting yourself, knowing your boundaries,
safe sex. Always,
as well. That's so important.
Like, use protection, all the protection you can. No, it's really important, and of course, that's not gonna take away the fun of this episode. But we want to take that time as well to emphasize this. It is very important, and in my, my experience in life, I just recently started knowing who I am. And this year, Valentine's Day is gonna be another day where I'm gonna continue loving myself and treating my body like a temple.
Ooh.
I'm in my self-discovery time, right? I'm discovering myself again, and of course,
it's beautiful.
It is also like the realization. It's like I was sleeping for so many years, and I'm awake, and I'm realizing certain things. And I want to put that message out there. Treat yourself like you would treat a king. Don't treat yourself like you would treat your friend, because you need to treat yourself better in order to even treat your friend good. Like, you need to be number one all the time. So yes, treat your body like a temple and make yourself feel good. Give yourself good words. I am gonna cry. Pourquoi je vais pleurer? Je suis dans mes feelings. So we should treat Valentine's Day, and we should treat these things that we are told, that not just Valentine's Day, as once again, all these things, like you expecting that someone should, like when you are with a partner, you have a boyfriend or a partner, that they have to be doing this for you in order for you to feel this way. They have to be romantic. They have to give you flower. I remember when Miley Cyrus made the song Flower. I didn't know why it was so, but it is true. Like, of course, she did it for certain and other reasons, but it is important. You don't have to wait for someone to do that for you. And I mean, Sarah does that. So she's just like, yeah, I know, girl. But you know what I mean? It should just be you loving yourself. When we were talking about this episode, Sarah did tell me that she would share. She's been teasing me.
Okay, I want to give you something juicy to make this episode, worth listening. Just kidding. No, but I was like, I'm going to give from my person, okay? And give you guys the gossip. No, basically, I wanted to tell you about my first sex experience. We're not talking intercourse, but we're talking first time. For me, that counts as a first time because sex is sex, no matter the act.
Guys, I don't know about this, so I'm very excited.
Oh my God. No, the reason why I want to share this, I know we're like on internet and it's something super personal, but I just want to show that as long as you're doing it safe, nothing serious. Again, I personally, you'll tell me if you agree or not, but I don't believe in sex as like a sacred act. I know for so many people it is, and I respect it. For me, as I said, I prefer seeing that as a game, as something natural that our bodies are made for. And if you like to do it, then you just use that for. But especially the first time, I don't believe that is like a sacred thing, personally. Because
I don't agree.
Okay, I want to hear your point of view.
Let's talk about it later.
But like, for me, it's something where a first time, if you put too much expectations on it, you're probably going to be disappointed because the first time you haven't learned anything yet. You don't really know what you like. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you want. You might be stressed. You might be nervous. It's never going to be the perfect thing that everyone dreams about. And actually, I don't think like any time is going to be that perfect thing that everybody dreams of because bodies are just bodies.
Yeah.
They sweat, they stink, they do funny noises, whatever. And that's why I believe making it a funny, lighter thing takes off some pressure and some expectations. And yeah, that's why I was going to share this with you because mine is kind of a silly, messy, weird one. So basically, I was 18. I was not particularly into like, oh my God, I need to do my first time. I need to find someone, blah, blah, blah. But I was more like enjoying life and saying yes to new experiences to the point that my friends were calling me Sarah the Explorer. And so 2019, I signed up for, I don't even know how you call that. It was basically a theater play that was organized in my city. And they were hiring about 10 young people, different ages, different backgrounds and stuff, to make like a documentary play. Sounds boring, but it's useful in the story. So I had been chosen to do it. And we would basically do like 1 week of intensive practice for the theater play, like to prepare it. And this play was about our lives. It was just like improvisation, as in we would come on the stage and say anecdotes about our life on different themes and stuff. It's on YouTube, but I will not tell you the name.
Okay.
But basically, yes, we all met at the beginning of this week. And at the end of the week, we had 2 shows in front of an audience, like 400 people in a real theater.
That's quite fast.
And we were paid for it and stuff. It was like a professional. And the result was that we got all very close very quickly.
The suspense. You're killing me here.
Because every day we would practice those themes and say anecdotes about our life. And it was very personal stuff. We would just talk about deep things, kind of like we do on this podcast, but with people we didn't know on a stage.
Yeah, okay.
And in this group, there was a guy who I had kind of noticed when I first came in, but he was like very different from me. Tall, muscular, boxing champion. But my weakness, he had an accent. He was, I think, from Morocco and lived in Italy. So he spoke Italian. So we did speak Italian a little bit together. And then when he spoke French, he had the cutest accent. So we started hanging out. So he would walk me home after the rehearsals. And we like started talking. And then we would like kiss on the bench in front of my apartment. And maybe halfway through the week, he took me on a date. I think my first date? Really? I didn't realize what was happening.
Like that week, that was the time frame.
Yeah.
We are still, okay.
Yep. So we went to eat sushi and then we met one of his friends in a bar and just...
Okay.
And during that theater play, there were a few questions about our first times and our experiences. And at that time, obviously, I didn't really have anything to say, which made it clear that I was a virgin, basically. Now that I look back on this story, I think that guy also kind of liked that. Red flag. But I did not see that at the time. I was young. He was a bit older. I think at least 5 5-6 years older. And yeah, I think that
you went for a zazzy.
Stop. No.
I'm that. Okay, continue.
No, but basically, after the last show, we all went to the restaurant, and then he walked me home. I think he had already asked previously if he could come to my place, and I was just like, no, that's why we'd kiss on that bench. But then that last night, I think I went into Sarah the Explorer mode, and I was like, okay, why not? And I let him into my apartment, and then, we started kissing and stuff. As I said, it was not an intercourse, because the way it happened is that he went down on me. It was my first time doing that. I was full naked. I was like, what the hell is happening? I was fine with it. I wanted to try it. I was like, now I'm here. He's here. He's willing to do that. He was
he told you
very
before.
into it and very happy. Yeah. He asked me permission if I could take my clothes off.
Okay, because that's important.
That's what I meant. Like, for me, I saw the green flags. So he did that, and that blew my mind. And I kept saying like, wow,
You enjoyed it?
Yeah. The funny part now, the messy part, is that obviously he was also very excited. And then he was like, oh, do you want to touch me? And I looked down, and I went like, I froze, and I got scared. Because I didn't see that many
pennies
in my life.
Okay.
Him appeared very big. Maybe it's because I was so unexperienced and young. But I looked at it and I was like, I'm not touching this. Oh my God. So I got scared of that. And I said, no, thank you. And I let him finish.
Huh? No.
And brought him tissue.
You did not.
You're welcome. That's my story. Yeah. Basically.
That was a good story. It wasn't what I thought it would be, though. I was so invested. But it was wholesome.
And also, like, I think still, so I can see the red flag. Tell me what you think. Is it a red flag? He was older, and I think it did turn him on to know that it was my first. Like, I did say on stage, and it was that night where I had the question, talk about your first time. And on stage, I was like, I don't know what else to talk about. So I talked about a story of one time where it almost happened, but didn't.
Oh, so okay.
Because I had nothing else. So he heard that night.
But then he didn't push to have penetration and everything.
Thank God.
So for me, if he wanted to be your first, he would have kind of pushed for it a little bit more. But yeah, thank you for sharing this.
My pleasure.
Like, I mean, I would have probably heard it at some point, but the fact that you agree that we are recording this.
Yeah, but I also wanted to use it like as a moral, to be like, first of all, yes, always check your consent. I wasn't sure at first, which is why I said no first time, second time for him to come in my apartment, for example. But in the end, I did it only because I wanted. Yeah. I stopped in the middle. Yeah. That's fine. It's funny. You can laugh about it afterwards, but there's no problem in doing that.
Like Sarah did, but she did not want to touch the banana. And she said, no, this looked like a plantain. This does not look like ordinary banana. This looks like a good plantain. And I do not, if you don't know what is a plantain, please research plantain and banana. You'll see the difference. And she didn't. And she was okay and comfortable enough to say no. Remember, there is never a wrong time to say no.
Yeah, that's my main take. It should be fun. You should be in the right mindset and feel safe. And
And that takes me to the part that I wanted to answer when you were in the beginning, which is that you were saying that you think it's something that, like, it's just fun. For me, I disagree. It's not like I totally disagree with what you said. For me, it's also such a special act that it's such a, like, you letting, for women especially, you're letting someone in your temple. I know, I'm saying the word again.
Oh God.
But you're letting someone in, you being so intimate with that person. So, of course, it can be just for fun. I agree. And you can choose to do that. But you can also, I think it's even more special when it's someone that you love.
Yeah.
And someone that you have a strong connection with. I think if we want to talk, parlons français, if you talk about orgasms with someone that you have very strong feelings for, you get the best. I am romantic, even though I don't like being cheesy, but I do believe in like when you share that special moment with someone, it is unique. But I also know that sometimes it can just be for the fun.
It's basically two different experiences.
Exactly.
And both are fine.
Both are okay. Yeah. Both are very, very much okay, guys.
She's doing her nasty voice again.
With that, do you want to go and see some dildos? Are you ready?
Go. I think I will not stop laughing, but we're just gonna take a look for research and we're gonna see.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm excited and a bit nervous. I also think it's interesting, to be honest, like see what's on the market.
See what's on the market. You know? Like, I think you'll be surprised.
Okay.
Oh, they are doing offers. See? No. My resolution. I've been good at it, actually.
Yeah?
I've been very good. I've been doing a lot of like, I look at things and then I don't buy it.
Oh my God. Even the things already like in the window are crazy.
Okay.
And we'll start right away with some lingerie with a blonde bimbo on the packages.
I mean, she has nice...
All right. Yeah. First of all, we're looking like two lesbians trying to go find some spice for our couple.
I mean, why not, God?
Cocks fighting. What is that? Oh my God. Fake plastic boobs that you put on yourself. It's 18 plus and it's like a game where you can punch into each other's plastic. No, that's so silly. Yeah, not the type of thing I was expecting, to be honest.
I mean, they have different things.
Okay, that's the thing around sex.
Yeah.
Some things I just find so funny. I don't think it's attractive or anything.
You don't think it's gonna
so
like...
funny. Like the calendars, they're too much. Actually, that reminds me of porno. I haven't watched it a lot.
Yeah.
I've watched it out of curiosity. And it's so... too much that to me it becomes almost funny and ridiculous. It doesn't touch me at all because it's just so ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
You know, so like the calendars, for example, look at that. Like that looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, that wouldn't do the job. But sometimes these things are like, I mean, it brings like the mood and people are laughing. And I mean, you need to be relaxed to be
kind of like right? The silliness.
Yeah. I'm more into the aesthetic. And also the, like, you know, dressing up, the game of loving and like showing someone, you know.
Yeah, you're into the performance.
The performance and also just for yourself as well. Let's remember that anything you can do with a partner, you can most likely do it alone. Nowadays, I'm sorry, you can. You have good toys for that. Just want to say it. It is very hard for Sarah right now.
It's like a complete new world for me, clearly. In my ideal world, there would be less realistic looking stuff. It would be more like actual toys and woohoo, little cutie, like whatever.
They have to be realistic if you're replacing the real thing.
But are you replacing though? You're not. The first.
This one is not replacing it. You're trying to die.
No, that's for the joke. It's impossible. That's for the joke.
I will not tell you the inches on this one.
Oh, there's very extreme stuff. Oh my God. That just looks like gymnastics, like circus.
That is art though. No? Like being able to,
honestly,
to be this flexible. Amazing.
I think for me, that kind of stuff, it sounds fun, but it sounds like so much logistics.
I think it just goes with, you go with the flow. And this one with the skin that moves.
They are very well made, actually.
Oh, they have others there. Like the small ones.
Ah, there you go. See? These ones are even called cuties. They're marketed at me. Cuties. See?
Why are they so pink though? Oh, this is your area.
Yeah. Tease and vibe.
Tease and vibe.
Pillow talk. That's a good one, eh?
Cute.
Special one. Baguette.
Baguette magique.
I love the names. The names are extremely smart and funny.
Oh, I never... That is new, see? Wow, I've never seen this one.
Technology. So, what do you think about using it with another person?
That is also important. It just brings spice. It just changes. And they have couple ones. And you can use the simple ones as well. I mean, if your partner loves you, they will enjoy to see you enjoying. But then you can see the couple ones. You both are like basically getting pleasure at the same time.
Interesting.
So we are out. How do you feel?
I feel like I ticked something out of my life checklist.
Okay.
I'm glad I did it now, because otherwise I would not have been ready. I still can't take most of it very seriously. I'm just like...
And I think that's a good thing. I think sometimes maybe they're doing it on purpose so people don't take it seriously, because can you imagine if people actually get turned on and doing stuff? You have to just go and look for what you're looking for, or ask them if you have question about anything. And then once you are in your comfort zone, safe zone, then you get to that, like you have that mindset. So yeah, with that, we want to say thank you for listening to us today.
Yes, and don't hesitate if you have any ideas for future topics. They don't have to be that crazy.
We enjoy a good spicy.
And thank you again for your support. We'll see you next month.
Yes, and we wish you a good month of February, a good Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, whatever day you want to do. And yeah, merci pour aujourd'hui.
À bientôt.
Au revoir. Bisous.